Taliban suicide bomber has attacked the Interior Ministry in Afghanistan's capital, leaving at least 6 security personnel dead. The militant group has pledged to derail the upcoming presidential election with a series of killings. And with the US troop pullout almost complete, government officials fear that the worst is yet to come. Now, Washington's already shut down more than 2/3 of its military bases in Afghanistan. That means that there are just over 30,000 soldiers left, and the number will decline further over the coming months. The Pentagon says it's lost no troops during March, which some experts attribute to the removal of forces from the battlefield. Now, so the question now is, has the country become any safer? Well, Kabul puts the number of those killed among international troops at around 3,500, but according to the government data, casualty figures within the Afghan army are 4 times as high. And that is just the service personnel. If you add up the two figures, it still doesn't match the civilian death toll. And there are also major doubts over whether Afghan troops can prevent the situation from deteriorating even further. Let's get more from our correspondent, Lucy Kafanov.
Across the country, Afghan police and soldiers are on high alert. This is an incredibly dangerous time here in Afghanistan, and you can really feel the tension in the air. The Taliban have threatened to disrupt the April 5th presidential elections, and as the recent tragic attacks across the country have shown, the insurgents have been making good on that threat. Now, the elections may come and go, but many of the Afghans we've talked to are worried about a different deadline, the end of 2014. That's when NATO combat forces are due to withdraw from the country after 13 years of fighting a fierce insurgency. While you're not likely to find many Afghans who supported that war, many of the people we've spoken to are much more afraid about what could happen after the Americans go home. There are over 350,000 Afghan soldiers serving at the moment, with an average of 10 killed every 24 hours. There's a very high attrition rate. What's more, Afghanistan can't maintain the force on its own. The army and police cost an estimated $6 billion per year, which is well in excess of the nation's entire budget. And as is often the case in war, it's the ordinary citizens who bear the brunt of the violence. In 2013, the United Nations reported a sharp rise in casualties from battles between the Afghan government and Taliban forces. And it was the deadliest year for women and children in nearly half of a decade. Civilian casualties rose by a stunning 14%. And the conflict has become so widespread that 1 in 4 Afghans have lost a relative or a close friend to the violence. And this is according to statistics from Doctors Without Borders. Almost 13 years after the West went into Afghanistan to destroy al-Qaeda and to oust the Taliban, America and its allies find themselves about to withdraw with neither objective wholly achieved. And without stability and an end to this violence, Afghanistan's first democratic transfer of power remains under threat. Reporting in Kabul for RT, I'm Lucy Kafanov.
And you can keep up with the latest from Afghanistan by following Lucy on her Twitter account. She's providing regular reports and photographs, all in the run-up to the country's presidential election this weekend.
The people of Afghanistan head to the polls for the 3rd time since the fall of the Taliban. But will this vote pave the way for the country's first ever democratic transfer of power? Afghanistan votes, an RT News special with me, Lucy Kafanov.